Hello everyone, this is G-Wiz. For this video, I'm going to be explaining punch science using a skeletal system chart. For this video, I'm going to be focusing on the upper portion of the human body, the head. Alright, and before we get into striking the head, I want to show you the average punching power that a person is able to produce. So as you can see here, there's punching without the legs, a strong punch with the legs, along with a double-handed strike without legs and with legs, a front knee, a clinching knee or short-range knee strike, a light roundhouse kick, a heavy roundhouse kick, and a run-up roundhouse kick, along with the stomp. These are the most basic fighting attacks. If you are a girl or a weaker individual, you may want to consider kicks. They have a higher average pounds of force. You can produce 200 to 300 with that roundhouse kick. For example, the side kick, 300 pounds, contact energy. You may have seen videos with people punching these pounds of force pads on a wall, but I'm also explaining that if you hit someone, their body is made of water. It's similar to hitting a kicking bag. Only about 60% of the energy you're able to produce on a wall is going to transfer into a kicking bag or a person. That would be what I consider the contact energy. The reason why this matters is a side kick or push kick might actually produce 500 pounds on a wall, but against a target, it's 250. What the fighting industry has done has given you a sense of fear because it's giving you an unrealistic amount of pounds of force to achieve, when in reality it doesn't take much at all to damage someone. Here's a list showing how much force is required in order to incapacitate someone. I have a lot of evidence that I've collected suggesting that all of what I'm saying is accurate and true. I really don't think people are as strong as they say they were in the past. If what they were saying is true, they would have had more strength. However, I'm noticing that even with half the amount of strength, a trained fighter is able to produce the same amount of force as a heavy weightlifter. Alright, for this next part of the lesson is probably the juiciest part of the whole video. These are the most vulnerable targets to strike at if your strength level is normal, 150 to 250 pounds on contact, 250 to 350 on the wall. This is what you're going to be striking. The eyes, the throat, under the chin, ears, the temple, the nose, the jaw, the solar plex, the liver, and the kidneys. These are all vulnerable to just normal level punches. As for the moderately vulnerable places to strike, that would be the chin, the side of the neck, the collarbone, the floating ribs, and the sternum. These are places that you would probably want to use a front kick or potentially while they're on the ground, strike them with a stomp, but for the most part, a kick. Finally, these are the strongest bones, and these are probably the areas you would want to avoid striking unless you actually produce over 500 pounds of force. The upper skull, the femur, the tibia, the shoulder blade, and the spine. For this last part of the video, I made a beautiful little chart here that shows you the pounds of force required in order to strike those certain areas of the body. Enjoy.